We want to talk about what's become one of the most famous UFO encounters ever. The 2004 Nimitz Tic Tac UFO. The U.S. government still considers this an official unresolved UAP. But recently, our in-house skeptic, Mick West, says he came up with an explanation for it. So how will the debunker's theory hold up? Many of you already know this by heart. It's November 14th, 2004, off the coast of San Diego. The aircraft carrier USS Nimitz is leading its strike group on practice maneuvers when something strange occurs. While radar is indicating an unknown object in the air, Lieutenant Chad Underwood seeks out the anomalous object and manages to take a video. What he captures on camera changes ufology forever. The infrared camera picks up a white, almost star-shaped blob hovering at an altitude of about 15,000 to 24,000 feet. It has a bright white center, meaning the object is hot, and several gray spikes coming out of it, representing the dispersion of heat. The camera then switches off its infrared setting, and we see the object as a solid black disc in the distance. The craft appears to rotate, now resembling more of a tic-tac shape. Finally, the object suddenly shoots off the screen at stunning speed, to the amazement of the pilots.
They claimed that it was performing in ways that were definitely anomalous. For something that had no propellers, no rotors, it had no exhaust plumes, it had no surfaces that could generate lift, and to them it seemed intelligently controlled. The importance of this video in the UFO circles cannot be overstated. It is continuously brought up at government hearings concerning UFOs. It's brought up in front of the Senate, it's brought up in front of Congress, it's been brought up literally to the president himself.
As we said earlier, Arrow has reported that to date, it's found no proof of alien technology. So does that mean the Nimitz Tic Tac can be explained? Science writer Mick West thinks so. But he's not the only one with an opinion. First, Mick tackles the Tic Tac's seemingly extreme speed.
There's 2 points in this video where the object appears to demonstrate amazing acceleration. The first one comes where it appears to shoot off screen very, very rapidly. But that coincides, as do most of the movements, with a camera change.
Watch as the sensor's zoom level abruptly doubles during one of the object's quickest movements.
So even though it looks like it's moving very, very fast, all it is the camera moving from one magnification to another.
However, physicist Matthew Shadagas thinks otherwise.
With the testimony of Lieutenant Chad Underwood, who actually took the video, we are actually seeing an object that produced such a high acceleration that it broke the targeting lock of our multi-million-dollar system that should not be able to lose lock so easily.
In fact, a peer-reviewed publication authored by a colleague of Shadagas's suggests that the accelerations we're seeing here are far beyond the capabilities of any known human aircraft.
Professor Kevin Knuth at the University at Albany reviewed the video and found that the most probable solution to the motion we see involves accelerations of at least 70 G, which would rip the engines off a plane.
Still, Mick West wonders if this whole thing might just be a case of misidentification.
I first thought that it might be a nearby commercial airplane because these training ranges are actually adjacent to commercial traffic routes. But a bigger jet would have two hotspots where the wings are. So I think it's probably more likely to be something smaller. Something smaller actually fits the angles and the sizes and the position of the engines in the infrared. It fits with something much more like an F-18 plane.
West says it's the infrared that gives it away.
You can see a little hotspot on the right side of the plane. It would correspond to the engines of a small jet.
But again, Shadagas disagrees.
There's no FAA or ADS-B record of an airplane at this day and time because this was a military exercise area in the first place. We have evidence from multiple sources corroborating from the US government saying that the military exercise was canceled. That means there weren't other F-18s in the air during the Tic Tac encounter, so we can conclusively rule out, without even arguing about acceleration or speed, that this is not an F-18.
So, where do we land? Shadagas is convinced.
I think we're looking at a genuine UFO. I think it's very telling that the speeds and accelerations measured are abnormally high in a way that would point towards some sort of advanced craft not constructed by human beings.
Mick West remains unconvinced.
This is all consistent with something like a distant plane. I don't think it's a genuine UFO in that it doesn't actually demonstrate any real anomalous properties, which is something you want from a UFO.
Our verdict, the Nimitz Tic Tac remains a genuine UFO. Mick West brings up some interesting points, but the preponderance of evidence, notably the testimony of multiple Navy pilots, still points to something inexplicable.